In this video, I'll cover how to create a flat roof with parapet walls to conceal the roof or deck area. I'll create a flat style roof with parapet walls using a floor structure for the roof. Let's begin with this single-story commercial style plan. On the right hand side of my screen is a cross-section of the single-story design. You can see the floor plan on the left-hand side. I'm currently on floor 1. And to create the design with the parapet walls and flat style roof, similar to this detail that I have on the screen, I'm going to go through the process of building a second story and using the floor structure to serve as the roof, as the floor structure will allow me to bear on the wall below and also have a nice clean finish on the outside of the design. From the menu bar, I'm going to come down underneath the floor tools and I'm going to select Build New Floor. The program will prompt me to derive the floor from the floor below. We'll go ahead and select OK. The program will then open up the new second floor defaults. Let's work our way down through the dialog. First of all, for the rough ceiling, I'm going to use the rough ceiling to control the height for the parapet walls. So I'm going to reduce this from an 8-foot wall to basically a 3-foot wall. You can see over in the preview panel what's going to happen to the structure. Underneath the ceiling, I'm going to remove the roof and I'm going to remove the flat ceiling. Then for the floor information, you can see the floor finish, which will probably be a hardwood or whatever the default is. I'm going to leave that intact. When we go into a 3D view, I'll apply an asphalt or gravel over the top of it. And then for the floor structure, let's come in and click the Edit button. The default for this floor is to use an OSB and a fur framing. If you're looking at the different layers that might make up a floor system, you can see an insulation block, maybe a pan deck for holding concrete, and then the floor truss itself. I'm going to make this pretty simple for the purpose of the video. I'm going to only use 2 different layers. I'm going to leave intact the OSB, and for the fur framing, I'm going to change the depth of that to 21 inches. I will go in and place a floor truss so we can use that to span for the platform. Maybe a minor detail, but you can come over into the moldings. I typically don't like to have a base molding. In this case, the default is to typically use one. I'll just press delete, remove the molding out. You can see the preview of the different structure elements we've put in place. We'll go ahead and click OK to build the second story. Once a new floor is built, notice that we've gone up to the second story, as you can see with the floor indicator. Over in the section view, you can see the new parapet walls. I'll use the zoom tool, and the first thing I want to do for the parapet wall is put a wall cap on the top and cover up this area. In the floor plan view, I'm going to hold my shift key down and click and drag to select all 4 of the walls. Using the open button in the far left hand corner of my screen, I'm going to come over to the wall types area, click on the define button, and once you open up the wall detail itself, you can see the total thickness of this wall with all the different layers is 10.5 inches in thickness. On the wall cap panel, I'm going to come in and add a new wall cap. Browse down into the core catalog, under architectural, under moldings, and then down under sills and caps. I'll choose a profile. I'm going to change the width of this to be 12 inches so it will exceed the wall itself. So I'll uncheck full wall width, come in here, enter in 12 inches, and then for the height, I'm just going to put that in at 3 or 4 inches. I pretty much completed the process of creating the parapet wall. To fill the cavity, I'm going to use a floor truss. To do that, in the floor plan view, I'm going to come over and I'm going to change my saved plan view into the framing floor plan, and then I'm going to move down to story 1. Your floor framing will occur on the floor below. With the floor framing tool, I'm going to come over and use the floor truss tool, and I'm just going to come down and click and drag until it snaps across the entire wall. And when you have your temporary dimensions on, let's zoom in so you can see this. I'm going to click on that temporary dimension. I'm going to set it to be 0 so it will exactly line up with the outside of the wall. I'm going to use the multiple copy while the truss is still selected. Come down, select multiple copy, we'll check the multiple copy interval. And in this case, I've set my floor truss to be copying at 48 inches on center. You need to make a change, just type in the dimension. Floor truss is still highlighted. See my cursor changed to the multiple copy. We'll slide those across all the way across the floor. Let's broaden our elevation view so you can see how that floor truss is stacking to form the roof. And then let's go back into the floor plan view and use the 3D camera and take a look at this. So I did this using the dollhouse camera. Let's go up to the second story. And now you can see the parapet walls. To make any changes to the materials, notice that it's using a hardwood in here. Let's open up the library. And I'm just going to browse down, look for something that may be gravel or asphalt. Click on the material surface, and then I'll also do the same thing for the wall cap. Well, that wraps up this video on creating a flat roof with parapet walls. To learn more, please see the built-in help file as well as our support articles and other videos. Thanks for watching.